All right, so let's take a look at the other questions that we have on circles and arcs, and this is when we find the length. Remember, the length is a fraction of the circumference. So on this one, number 23, so I wrote, so 120 is this angle. So the length of the arc means actually like if you draw with your pen or your pencil, how long is that segment that you drew? So 120 over 360 is a third, right? So it's 1/3 of the circumference. And the radius is 9, right? The radius is 9, so the diameter is 18. So it has circumference. So all the way around is 18 pi. And we only want a third of that. So a third of 18 is 6 pi. And we're measuring in inches. So 6 pi inches. But it actually means how long is the length of that segment. So it says leave our answer in terms of pi. So let's take a look at number 26. So we're looking at this darkened in one right here, right? So the one that's kind of darkened in. Well, if that angle's 90, that means this angle is also 90 because that's a diameter. Well, 90, right? So if we think about 90 over 360, that's a fourth. So that part is 1/4 of the circumference. So this 24 is the diameter. So circumference is pi times the diameter, so 1/4 of 24 pi. So we're just going to take a fourth of 24. And so we get 6 pi, and we're measuring in inches. So the actual length of that segment is 6 pi inches. And then we'll take a look at one of these questions down here. It says find the find each indicated measure. Now notice here, this is the measure, not the length, and the measure is equal to the central angle. So in this diagram, these two angles are equal. Here's the diameter, right? So that's 180. So 180 minus 40 is 140, and these two have to be equal. That means these two are both 70. And then if this angle is 40, that also means this angle right here is 40, because those are vertical angles, right? And vertical angles are always congruent. And then this part right here would have to be 140. So we could take 180, right? There's that diameter. So if it helps, that's why, right? I always find those measures, and then it makes it easier to answer those questions. So this is the measure of angle EYD. So angle EYD. Well, we figured that out. That angle is 40 degrees. And then number 32, the measure of angle DYC. So D to Y to C is 70. So we figured that out. And then we'll take a look at one more question together. The measure of the arc. Remember, the measure of the arc is equal to the measure of the central angle. So notice this one says measure, and this one says length. So you got to be careful about what it asks for. So find the measure. So the measure of angle arc EAB, sorry. Arc EAB. So that means like we're going around this way, right? EAB. So that would be the 140 and the 40, right? That intercepts a diameter. So that is a semicircle. So that one is 180 degrees. If you can, please finish those questions and we'll submit those online. Thanks.